Hello guys, those of you who follow Russian war in Ukraine since the very beginning remember the times at the very beginning of invasion when we spoke about sabotage group crossing the border. We did not need to add Russian sabotage groups crossing the Ukrainian border. But as the war develops, Ukrainian armed forces getting smarter and more volunteering against Kremlin regime appear inside Russia, I am happy to update you on the Ukrainian sabotage group crossing the border into Russia. War is coming back home. It's always like that. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe. This is the easiest but extremely effective way to demonstrate your solidarity and spread information about Ukraine. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. So today is the vlog I like recording because I want to tell you more about a Ukrainian and potentially Russian volunteer group crossing the border in Belgorod region and causing some troubles on the Russian territory. If I have to compress the most important message of this video in just one sentence, I will repeat it again. War is coming back home to Mother Russia. It's always like that. This is the true and the karma of any war. And with each day, we hear more and more about Ukrainian sabotage group crossing the border with Russia and entering bordering regions, and also various volunteer groups, units that are working from inside Russia. I know the number is not great so far, but the Legion of Freedom of Russia and other volunteer movements are actually very important for the future development of Russia after we win, because serious job must be done later. If you believe that Russia will collapse one day and you want to see many new democratic countries on its place, remember to subscribe and help us fight. Informational warfare is very real. So what happened on the 17th and 18th of December? According to the governor of the Belgorod region, which is even not a Ukrainian media source, but a Russian authority, if it's possible to say authority about their criminal regime. But anyway, the governor of the Belgorod region spoke about an extremely hot situation that took place in one of the villages on the border with Ukraine, where a sabotage group consisting of potential Ukrainian but may also be Russian citizens crossed the border and had a fight with Russian army. What is important, bordering with Ukraine regions like Rostov, like Belgorod, like Lipetsk are in danger for a long time already. And I'm sure that people who live on these territories pretty well understand what is happening and that Russia is definitely not the strongest country. Because before the war, they were all hooray, they believed blitzkrieg is possible and they liked everything. Perhaps they imagined how their borders expand and their regions grow bigger. But what happens is the country, with each passing month, they hear more and more air raid alerts, they see more and more explosions, they smell more and more smoke, and yeah, there is an epidemic of smoking in these regions too, you know. They have some military objects there, some factories and plants, and very often workers smoke and they explode and they cause serious destruction. Somehow smoking companies are working on the side of Ukraine. But the very work of such sabotage groups on the other side of the border is extremely important. A beautiful reminder, if Ukraine could continue living its normal peaceful life with its ordinary problems, we would definitely choose this kind of present. But after brutal Russian invasion, there is nothing left but protect ourselves, and sometimes by protect ourselves, we need to travel and destroy some military targets in Russia. What this situation also demonstrates that it is not only the Ukrainian border that is vulnerable, but also the Russian border. The thing is that for decades, no one actually cared about Russia. No one interfered into the real state of their military, of their border control and other stuff. And they were developing this myth that Russian army is the second strongest army in the world, when it turns out, we like it, the second strongest army in Ukraine. And the same is the level of their vulnerability. They have never expected war returning back to Russia. That's why they don't have normal air defense systems. And you know, I had a recent video on a very massive drone attack from the Ukrainian side. Do check this video. It's my vlog of yesterday. And there were lots of explosions and destructions on the military airfield in Morozovsk, which is Rostov region. And now we see that sabotage groups from Ukraine are able to successfully cross Russian border. So no, not everything is okay with this huge tsardom of Putin. And despite the fact he wants to become a president of Russia for the next term, I hope he will become the next prisoner in The Hague. And we will be able to watch that. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you are new and help us fight, because informational warfare is real. Anyway, I hope there will be more news like that. But what is important for me, that there are Russian volunteer groups like Legion Freedom of Russia and other volunteering groups that are fighting from inside Russia. Because no matter how much we want that, even if Russian Empire collapses, Moscow or something like that will remain our neighbors, and we have to think how to reshape and cure their society, because much work is to be done even after joint Ukrainian democratic victory. I'm traveling a bit and it's a business trip. I'm staying in a very nice place, which is actually an old synagogue. It's kind of difficult to do some business before Christmas, and soon I will be back home because this year was too much of traveling, and I hope I will find more time for writing and doing things that I feel more mine. Thank you so much for your support, for buying me coffees and becoming my patrons. This is an honor and a privilege to have you in my life. Subscribe to my Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and Discord. Your subscriptions inspire me to become more active there. Also, remember to check good Christmas presents in our merch shop. The link is in the description of this video. These presents can work as good conversation starters and reminders about Ukraine, which is important in these really challenging times. But most importantly, thank you for being friends and standing with Ukraine. I love you all. Slava Ukraini!